Hey everyone, we're going to look at starting up your bottoms up system featuring the blended gas long draw panel setup. What that means is that for the panels that look like this, just maybe have single regulators or they'll have doubles, no beer pumps on them. That means that we're using a blend of CO2 and nitrogen to a blender box outside the cooler to help push the liquid up to your bar. And you also want to turn on your glycol chiller. It's going to be a silver box looking like this. This just sends cooling liquid alongside the trunk line of your beers. That goes in the cooler, matches up with the beer line, heads up to the bar. And all you're going to do is just flip the on switch. That'll kick it on. So once you get your kegs, just flip that on. And I'll start chilling down the line ahead of time. So once you get your beer pouring, it'll stay nice and cold. There's a couple of things you want to do. At the start, we want to make sure our gas is turned on to the system. So inside your walk-in cooler, you're going to have a red valve like this and a sticker saying main draft CO2 shutoff. What you want to do is make sure that this is pointed in line with the braided hose. And you'll see we're getting pressure now to our system. In case you open that up and you're not seeing gas in your cooler, you can always go back to where your blender box is. It could look like this. It could be a black box that says Micromatic on it. In this case, you're just looking for a valve that says CO2 into out. Just make sure it's pointed down. And we're just going to rubber number 5 here. So what we're going to do is make sure that the gas is turned on to this regulator here, the red valve. Point that down. And the gas to be up to 26. There we go. We write on the knobs where we want them to be. And then you just take this, and I'm illustrating with a plastic keg full of water, but you'll just tap your keg as if you were tapping a keg of beer. So what we want to do, there's directions here for this process as well. We want to fill up this empty keg detector. This is what lets us know at the dispenser that the keg is empty and there's still beer here in the line. And what we're going to do is top this off. So as you can see here, these directions. I just opened this up. So I barely cracked it. I don't need to open it wide up. Just make sure the float's at the top. And that little excess liquid, if you follow this orange line here, this just goes to a drain bucket right here that tells you when it's full, you can see the liquid as it fills up. Very small amount goes into it. So up here at the bar, you can see our other circuit boards are flashing empty keg. If you recall, we just filled up 5. So that's what these are flashing. So I'm going to turn this on. You can see that these aren't flashing because our float is at the top. So there's a magnet in that float that is read by a switch. If you remember that there's a brown cable sort of coming out of the empty keg detector. Then when the magnet on that float hits that read switch, or gets that connection, that traction, it'll say, hey, tap the keg for me. So a benefit of our empty keg detector is that it keeps pressure and the line on the line, and the line full of beer, so that when it empties, you're not getting a huge blowout of beer. On this particular run, there could be, I don't know, 30, 40 feet of beer line between here and the walk-in cooler. And that's potentially a lot of beer waste that we're preventing in that process. So what we want to do is we want to get the air out of the line first. So we're going to go into purge mode, and that is achieved by pressing the small and medium button together. So we see that all 3 lights light up here. Purge mode is like a manual override. So no liquid's going to come out unless we tell it to. So take your cup coupler and just push down on it. And then you're going to take the glass, and I like to kind of hold it upside down and at an angle here. See, there's a drain. So what's going to happen, and I'll try this with one hand. We're just going to press the medium button. There's going to be a pop of CO2. And the liquid's going to come out. So try this here. There we go. Just like that. Press that. Then you just press the medium button again to stop it. And what we're looking for in that process is just for, clear beer essentially to become pouring out. So if it's super foamy, let it run just a little bit, then you can stop it. Again, you can stop it just by pressing the size button. So now we got the air pockets out of there, we're ready to program a size. Let's get out of purge mode. Let's press small, medium together. And we're just gonna work with medium for this process. and this will be hard to do with one hand, I'll do my best. What you're gonna do is you're gonna push down on the glass while holding the size button. So here's that process. You just hold the size button, push down the glass, and hold it until you get to the fill level you want. So now with our size programmed, you just take it, push down, and let it do its thing. This particular version of the long draw system is our high profile dispenser. So you can see the dispenser itself is sitting in a stainless steel chassis that sits up above the counter. That chassis surrounds the skirt here that we silicone onto the countertop. And for the high profile dispensers, it requires a much smaller hole for the lines. Just provide some airflow, and every dispenser is designed to be able to tip back and up like this. High or low profile doesn't matter. The low profile ones will use the same size skirt, but you just cut a much larger hole. So we actually line the inside edge of this skirt will be the size of the hole needed for the low profile. The low profiles sit, just a little bit above, a little bit higher than this skirt itself, so much shorter than this. What you go with depends on kind of what you need. Something like this, the high profile is nice because it can kind of be seen from different sides of the bar from where this is. If we're mounting it directly onto the bar in front of customers, low profile always looks cool. The low profile just requires a larger hole. That's essentially it, and we have those cut dimensions for you. And talking with your sales engineer, process engineer, whatever you need, we can kind of make happen for you. You can clean the lines by using the cleaning canister here and the cleaning powder that's provided to you on the install. To do that process, you just hook up the cleaning canister once it's got warm water in it, not hot water, just warm water, using directions on these for the amount of powder to put in. And then you just go through the process of tapping the keg, topping off your Empty Keg Detector, going up to your dispenser, and using the purge function. You can also use the standard auto pour if you want, but it's a little easier to just put it in purge, let it rip until you see cleaner coming through. Let it sit there for a little bit. After you stop it, and just move on to the line for your system. You want to make sure you get like 7 to 9 minutes of letting it soak with cleaning powder in the line before you can flush it out with warm water, cold water, doesn't really matter. And to do that, this just unscrews. You just unscrew that, top it off with water, run that through, and then put your beer back on, tap it, just like you did startup.